I've got to admit, these 3 quick tips completely changed the way I operate within Procreate. They allow me to do so much more with the artwork that I was creating, and they're just really great to know and to share with other people as well. I'm going to be super honest with you. I share a lot on this channel about Procreate, that's no surprise, but these 3 next quick tips are ones that I personally use all the time. They might work for you as well. They might even just change the way you do things within Procreate and help simplify things or even improve your artwork over time. Starting off with the first quick tip today, which is Reference Companion. Reference Companion has been around for a little while now, and if you don't currently use it, I highly suggest you have a look at what I'm about to show you next. It really can transform your workflow and overall your art as well. Let's jump into the overhead look and see what this is all about. All right, here we go. Let's jump straight into actions. We're gonna go down to canvas, and then we're gonna tap on reference, or we're gonna turn reference on. Essentially, this is going to give us a handy second perspective of our entire canvas as we work. It is super useful if you like to work super zoomed in but still want to see how your whole artwork is looking. I must admit, I use this all of the time, and it is something I honestly cannot live without on a daily basis now within Procreate. You'll see these sections across the bottom of the screen here. First one is canvas. As I mentioned a second ago, this is going to give us an overall view of our artwork and what we're working on. It's going to allow us to work really zoomed in on certain parts of the artwork while still keeping in mind everything that's going on in the canvas itself. I find this particularly useful when it comes to things like shading. It really does help to keep the overall aesthetic in mind of what we're working on, to know whether we're going too hard in certain parts or not hard enough. Next up is image across the bottom there. We can import an image directly from our photos on our device to use as a reference. At the top of the companion, we have options to clear and import an image. If we go ahead and hit the import button, we can select an image we want to use from our photo library. It is super worthwhile to note, whatever image we import will stay with this artwork even when exporting as part of the Procreate file. This is going to be really handy if you are sharing artwork with other people, or maybe you're sharing artwork across different iPads within Procreate. It's going to go with it, and it's going to be really helpful for reference later on. The final one we have there is face. This allows your face to become the canvas for your artwork. To use this, the device will need to have a true depth camera or be able to utilize the neural engine. I'm not going to go too much into this today, as this is probably a whole other video by itself, but I just want to let you know that it is there and is a possibility. All right, let's have a look at the companion itself. We can move the reference companion around. To do this, it's pretty simple. We can drag the top bar to move the companion around, or we can drag either bottom corner to resize. You can pinch and zoom inside the companion as well. Super useful, this one. Same way you would within your canvas normally. And a quick side note on this, a quick pinch will auto adjust the image as well, which can be really useful. You can also show and hide the options by tapping once on the companion and then tapping again to either show or hide them. And the best part about this is even when they are hidden, you can still pinch, zoom and resize everything you normally would do. It just gives you the option to hide those options and have a bit of a cleaner workflow. And finally on this one, turning it on and off. Really simple. We can go back through the actions menu like we found it before, or we can just hit the little X in the corner, and that's going to close the reference companion down. And that is the quick tip number 1 for today. Reference companion, get out there, give it a try. If you're already using it, you know how great it is. Let me know how much you love it down in the comments. If you haven't used it before, get out there, give it a try, and let me know how you go with it. I'd love to hear how useful this has been for you, because I know it's something that I definitely can't live without these days. Let's move right along and have a look at Procreate quick tip number 2, and that one today is repositioning your sidebar. We all know the sidebar within Procreate. If you don't, you probably do, you're just not sure what it's called. It's this bar here on the left-hand side of the screen. When you first open up Procreate, it will be on the left, but you do have options when it does come to this sidebar. As we all know, the sidebar contains our brush size and opacity, our undo and redo buttons at the bottom, and the modify key in the center as well. But the super useful thing to note is it can also be adjusted to suit your needs. First thing we want to do is drag out from the modify key in the center there, and then we can slide up and down for the perfect location. This can be really useful if you want to adjust these with your thumb, or like the workflow of having it higher or lower. I have definitely used this from time to time. It's come in very, very useful, probably more useful than I thought it would have. It's nice to be able to move that sidebar up and down, and for different artworks, I definitely have found this come in handy on more than one occasion. We're going to go to Actions, Preferences, and then toggle on Right Hand Interface. This is going to put the sidebar on the right hand side, and it's going to be super useful for anyone who does like to have that sidebar on the opposite side. It doesn't really matter if you're left or right handed. It's going to come in handy depending on the artwork, depending on your flow, depending on how you like to work. So give this a go. It might just work for you. I keep mine on the left, but I do keep my sidebar adjusted a little bit higher than normal just because of the way I like to hold the iPad. I thought this was super useful to include because the sidebar is something we're always going to use, so why not be able to adjust it, right? There we have it, 2 Procreate quick tips down. Let's move right along to number 3, which is the clone tool. We're going to have a bit of a deeper look at this clone tool, what it can do, and why it might be useful to you. All right, if we jump back into the overhead view, let's look at this design, which has a few layers in it already. We're going to work with this layer with the leaves on it. We're going to go to Adjustments and then select Clone at the bottom. After this, you're going to see a little disc appear, which we can move around to where we need it. This is going to be the source of our clone. You're going to notice at the top of the screen, our brush icon has changed just a little bit to indicate that we are in the clone tool mode. This is going to be useful, particularly to tell if we are in the clone mode or not. I know it sounds simple, but to have that little indicator there to know it's different than the normal brushes has come in useful more than once, believe me. And then if we go ahead and tap on that, we're going to be able to change the brush we're going to use. The sliders on the left will adjust the clone size and opacity like normal, and then you can move the disc over a leaf we want to clone, and then go ahead and use the brush like normal, and you're going to see our leaf be easily cloned and ready to use. From here we can go and do whatever we need. We can move that new clone around with the selection tool if we want, but this is just a really quick way to show how you can build on pieces of your artwork using the clone stamp tool, and it doesn't require you to draw something from scratch again or just build on something you've already done. And there we have it, 3 of my most useful Procreate quick tips. Get out there, give them a go. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I really love hearing back from every one of you, whether you try these out or whether you already do use them. And do me a favor while you're at it, see that subscribe button. It doesn't mean much to you, but it means a hell of a lot to me. It helps me grow my channel, helps me bring you more and more content every week. So go on, give it a click. It really does help. And I really appreciate every single one of you that tunes in every week to see the new content that I drop. And that's gonna do it for this week. Just a really quick video. I wanted to give you some of my favorite quick tips. Get out there, give them a go, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next video.